It is time to call Danny Bonaduce, life coach, at 1-800-252-1025, or we will happily take your emails at lifecoach@KZOK.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let's talk to Parker in Tukwila and see what's going on there. Good morning, Parker.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm a big fan. I know two people named Parker, and they're both excellent people. So I'm ready for good stuff here. What can I help you with?
Well, I've been with the same girl for like 20 years now. We got together right out of high school, and we had two kids right when we were like 20, 21. We've had on and off relationship. You know, there's been cheating both ways that we've known about. And,
right.
You know, everything's been kind of good, and then recently I've just been kind of thinking about the past, and a lot of things are just kind of adding up, and I just wondering if there's a way to do a DNA test on my two kids that are 21 and 22 without causing a big stink, or if there's a way I can do it without anybody knowing.
I will tell you this, Parker. The one thing you're going to have to look into on this is the dough. It's not going to be free. It's not going to be out of control expensive. You know, when you do a drug test, you can have those done for $165. I do not think you can have a DNA test done. So you're going to have to look at that online, because I got to tell you, though, even though I believe, honestly, I have the answer for you, I don't think anybody's ever called me up and said I got a DNA test and nobody's giving me the permission. Now, here's the question. Are these two kids giving you permission to test their DNA?
I haven't brought that up yet.
Would you rather not?
I'd rather not.
Yeah, this is really easy, man. This is absolutely... You know where the cops almost always get their DNA is from the trash. Because once you throw your stuff out and it gets to the curb, not while it's still at your house, second your trash gets to your curb, and here's where the cops get it. Ooh, fast food with a straw. Boom, they've got it. So it's just that easy. If you're welcome at their homes, and are you welcome at these two kids' homes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, the one that lives with you, grab his toothbrush and go, just find out where you're going to go, whether it's the hospital or mail off kit. My wife and I, now that I think about it, we did a DNA test for a different thing to find out some stuff about our heritage. But snip a little piece off his toothbrush, or pull some hairs out of the thing, get a cup, he's drinking it. It's really, really, really easy. When I say really, really, really easy, there's some incredible science involved that I couldn't do. The good news is I don't have to do it. You want it done, all you got to do is bring your checkbook. Bring the straw, bring the hairbrush, bring the toothbrush, whatever you want. There's DNA all over everything. Did you know, I'm watching these cop shows that I enjoy, like Forensic Files and stuff like that. Somebody was throwing a Frisbee around. They got DNA from their palm and thumb. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere now. You don't have to get a swab from their cheeks. So there's your answer. Toothbrush, hairbrush, drinking glass, anything you want, and send it in the lab, and they'll do it. Just bring your paycheck, because I don't think it's going to be free. Hey, thanks for the call, Parker. I appreciate it.
Good luck. It's Danny Bonaduce, life coach. The next caller is Steven in Everett.
Hey, Steven. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
That's all good. What's up?
Well, my wife's boring in bed.
All right, now, let me ask you something. Are you bringing plenty to this party? Are you sure she's not thinking the same thing about you?
I'll say I do all the work.
All right, fair enough. And have you told her anything about your dissatisfaction with her participation? She's not willing to do that, whatever it is.
That's kind of not an easy conversation to have.
No, it's not.
I avoided it.
I'm not going to tell you which wife, because at least two of them listen to this show, but I've had to have this conversation. All right, it was the last wife. But yeah, no, it's a tough sell. If you should do this, that's just contrary to their natural behavior. I don't want to do that. It hurts. It's bad this way. It makes me gag. Whatever it is, it's their right to not do it. But you also want to go out of your way to satisfy each other. Have you ever watched porn with this girl? Your wife?
No, she's dead set against it.
Ooh, I think you're in a little bit of trouble here. Let's see. If you wish to experiment in a way that wasn't illegal or harmful or hurt anybody, would she be willing to do that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, well, you got to find out, man. You're a young man, and you're calling me now with my wife is boring. That's not gonna get better. Every day that you don't improve that, it's kind of gonna get worse. And there's only a couple of things. You know what, dude? Oh, I can't believe this took me this long. Did anybody else get this yet? How about you take her to the movies?
50 Shades of Grey.
Damn right, 50 Shades of Grey. Absolutely. See what part she giggles at, and I'm not kidding. Watch her carefully. Don't even watch the movie. When her face lights up, take a look at what's happening on the screen, and then introduce that into your bedroom. Because otherwise, my friend, because I love you, Stephen, and here's the thing. If you don't improve this like every day, every time you make love to your wife, it's going to be a little less to your expectation. So if you want, I'm not kidding. Start with 50 Shades of Grey. Introduce a little something that wasn't there before. Nothing big, nothing hurtful, nothing scary. But you have to start delivering some of that stuff. You deserve it, Stephen. And I think you should make this marriage last. And I think you can. You just got to talk to the little woman.
That's great advice.
I couldn't believe 50 Shades of Grey came to me like that hadn't come out of my mouth yet.
800-252-1025. This is Danny Bonaduce, life coach. If you've got a problem, he has a solution. Susie,
Totally true.
Susie in Seattle, you're on with Danny Bonaduce.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Danny. Danny, I don't think I've told you this before. I'm a brain tumor survivor, and for about 10 years, and I came out of it really well. No problems except for one thing left over, and that is that electronic bass, even though I'm a music lover and I used to love to go to concerts, electronic bass triggers an instant severe migraine for me. So I have to avoid it.
Well, you are so lucky you don't live in my house. I got one of those things called a front bar or front panel and attaches to your TV and has speakers coming out because my TVs are mounted on the wall. I thought the sound was muddled. Well, they come with a thing called a woofer. And it sits in the corner of my house, and it just pounds the bass, even on commercials, constantly. I have buried it under pillows because it drives me crazy. And I am not a brain tumor survivor, so I'm just trying to be compassionate with what you feel because it must be awful. Now, why are you listening to that much bass?
Well, I'm not listening to the bass. The problem is I have an upstairs neighbor. I rent the bottom of a house, and I have an upstairs neighbor who, before he moved in, I explained to him, I said, I don't even care if you have loud music, as long as you don't have that bass up. And I've had problems ever since, and I literally am crawling on the floor, throwing up, and it's so awful. And the landlord says they can't do anything about it.
They can't.
It's horrible, and so I'm going to have to move.
Well, that is my first call, is that you move. But if you don't want to move, have you tried noise-canceling headphones for $69?
I can't wear them all the time. I'd have to wear them all the time in my home, all the time.
Well, that's an easy $69 solution. I'm thinking if you can't just say these to these people that you should actually, you're going to have to set it up and move. I don't want you to move. I want you to try the headphones. And you know what? People wear them to bed. And then maybe there's the comfortable kind of ear pods that you can have in.
Yeah, I would try, but the other thing is I can't take anything on my head. I can barely wear anything in my hair.
You know what? Sarah just handed me something, but I think she was the one smart enough to know this. I didn't know this, that she should tell you. What is it that Susie can do with these migraine headaches with this bass?
Well, I had the same problem with my neighbors, and they sell something that's called a bass blanket. And it goes by your stereo speakers.
Right.
So she could buy one for her neighbor, or she could buy one and put it by the wall, and it absorbs the sound without... For the person listening, they don't know the difference.
If they're willing to do anything at all, if they want to be helpful at all, this is a nothing intrusion into their life.
Correct.
Put the speakers on this or something like that. I think so. There it is. It's sound quashing headphones. It's moving, or what Sarah said, which sounds the best to me, it's the bass wall blanket. So good luck. One of those has got to be a solution for you, Susie.
Yeah, you go.
Sorry about that brain tumor, too. That's got to be a rough day out.
You know, like the neighbor war things you talked about can get so scary, but sometimes if you just tell them, or if you were to buy that, my neighbors put it up and the problem.
I don't think anybody would have a problem putting it up.
Yeah.
A reasonable neighbor would have a problem because she really has no recourse till 10 o'clock at night. That's the law.
This is Danny Bonaduce, life coach at 800-252-1025. He will help you through your problems. Caitlin in Mukilteo, you're the next caller.
Hi, Caitlin.
Oh, hi, Danny.
What's up?
Well, this is pretty serious. My friend's friend just texted her this morning. It was weird, right when you came on. And she said she wanted to take her life. She said she doesn't want to do it tonight, but she wants to take her life. And here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I lost a friend to suicide that looks like her.
Wow, that is weird. That's creepy and weird, and that must be a tough day on you. I had the perfect advice for you until she said in the text she doesn't want to do it today.
Tonight. She doesn't want to do it tonight, but she wants my friend to come over.
What time did you get this text?
she called me or she texted me probably 15 minutes ago.
You know what? Here's what I would do, to be honest with you. Do you believe the threat is a legitimate threat?
Yes.
Call
yes,
911. It's your job. It's your obligation to call 911. And what will happen, they'll probably, they won't 5150 her, I don't believe, because she said in the text, I don't want to do this right now. So she wasn't an actual dangerous to herself or others. Or the cop, it's up to the cop on the scene, and they don't have specific training here. If he doesn't like her attitude or thinks she might have been serious, he'll take her to jail for a 72-hour stay in the hospital to see who's okay. But I think it's time to shake up your friend a little bit. If you have her address and you need to say, I'm right on my way over, and if you want to be there when the cops come, call 911 as you're pulling in her driveway, or why wait on that? Call 911 right now. She deserves the wake-up call. Too many people are doing this. It's too much people are taking that as a way out. It's not fair and it's not right. 911 is your answer. Thank you for calling, Caitlin. I appreciate it. And hang in. Sounds like you're having a tough day, too.
Yeah, good luck.
A lot of tough ones today emotionally.
Sure. Well, here's one that can also be viewed as tough and emotional. It's an email from Sandra in Seattle. My husband is texting other women while I'm at work and when I'm sleeping. When confronted, he gets very angry, saying I have no business touching his stuff.
Oh, my God.
And no one is going to tell him who he can and can't talk to. My biggest issue is that the two main women are ones he's had sexual relationships with before we were married. Am I crazy for feeling like this is cheating?
Oh, my God, no. Jeez, you know why you think he's cheating? Because he's cheating. And he's cheating in the worst possible way because I did it. And I should have felt more remorse at the time, but then I did a little bit later. A quick reenactment. He's texting you girls that he's had sex with, but when you grab his phone to look at it, does it sound anything like this? How dare you? What are you spying on me? Don't I deserve a little private? No, that guy's lying to you. I promise. Here's how people that aren't lying react to you grabbing our phone. Oh, yeah. Oh, I called Bob earlier today. Check. That's how people who aren't guilty respond. This guy is up to no good. He's cheating on you and he's lying to you. Now, if you're in this game and you think it's a lot of fun to get cheated and lied to, and some people do, hang out. But if you think, hey, that's what's wrong, tell him straight up, you know what's, and it's all gone. It's all gone. The phone bills now go through you. Everything that the phone does goes through your account. And if he doesn't like it, you're a divorce court right now. That guy's no good for you. He's a liar and he's a cheater.
We've got time for another email on Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. And you can always email the Life Coach at KZOK.com. And the phone number is 800-252-1025. Even with the emails or the calling, remember, change your name if you would like to remain anonymous. Amanda in Bremerton has sent an email. I recently had to leave our beautiful home in Bremerton because the father of my two children started using meth. He also became abusive towards me. He gets it from my sister, who uses heroin, and gets money and a place to stay from my mother. So he's getting the meth from her sister.
A sister who's on heroin and gets a place to stay from her mother.
Correct.
This is all nasty.
I have talked to my parents about my sister's behavior. My dad tried to kick her out, but mom always caves in to her sob story. What can I do about this terrible situation?
All right. Well, it depends on how bad you want it and what your deal is with her. I would absolutely let people know. You know, a lot of people think that the cops are off limits. They're a fine tool. Whether or not they find your sister with any heroin and or meth is not the question. Wait till a cop shows up at the door of a junkie. They lose their skin. They lose their mind. So I suggest you talk to your parents. You talk to you every reasonable thing, and then you start calling the police on the junkie. And believe me, when they think because they're going to think the cops are outside from the time the cops show up once. The junkie, and this is your sister, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to tell you what happens. The junkie is going to suspect now the cops are behind every bush, and their life is going to get very uncomfortable at that address. I think, 3 times the cops show up, your sister moves out, and that's what needs to happen. Your mom's not going to man up and pay attention to this. She's going to cave all the time. I think you should introduce the police into your sister's life.
What should she do about the father of her 2 children and her moving out of the house?
Well, that is, you know what's funny, I forgot to address that, and I apologize for that. The fact is the matter, I don't think that's even a real question. What do I do about a meth user abusing me with my kids in the house? You leave. You right away. You divorce this person right away. You get an order of protection immediately. A lot of cops going on the Danny and Sarah show this morning, but they're the answer a lot of times. You need a protection order from this guy immediately. You move out. You go to court. They give them away willy-nilly. They don't need to prove that you're right. They said somebody was scared. I'm the court. I have to step in, because what happens to the court if somebody says, hey, you're the court, and I go, Sarah, Judge Sarah, Paul's out to get me. And you go, you know what? I don't believe you. And then Paul shoots me.
I don't believe you,
Right.
Paul.
No, you don't believe me.
I don't believe you,
Yeah,
Danny.
you believe Paul.
Paul's bad
Okay.
news.
The point is, if you don't do something to cover the bases and something happens, you look real bad, aside from the fact there's somebody dead or harmed. So, you know what? Go to court. You need to move out on this meth head loser that raises his hand to you and get a restraining order right away. And they're easy to get. You can get them for the asking.
We do notice sometimes the parents are not capable of tough love.
Yes, I noticed that a lot.
Like this sister whose mom is giving her a roof over her head should stop that, right?
She should stop everything, and I say this usually with younger kids. Stop the roof over their head, stop the video game, stop the phone, stop all possible things, and make this person fend for themselves. But you want a faster result, as I said, you just start dealing that she's dealing drugs out of the back of your house, and the cops will be on fire, and she'll be gone in 3 visits. That's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach today. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce Women. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.